my name is Paul, and this video is part of a series of videos over Chang Tai Chi for functional fitness. This is not a application program. We have a totally other program that relates to that. This is purely for those either looking for a program which is hard to find, everything together, and, all together in a layout for you so you can figure it out, or for the person that wants to potentially learn a Tai Chi program to offer for a church, a recreation center, a martial arts school, maybe they're a personal trainer or a group fitness trainer, that type of vein of people. That's who this program is for. Or for that person, they live somewhere and maybe they don't have the money to take classes, or it's too far away. Maybe they're in a small town and it's 50 miles away to be able to go and take some classes. There are online programs out there, and a lot of them you have to pay to see the videos for what it is. And my goal with this is to show all three levels with an explanation of what's in the level, and then from there, like that's what we're going to do today, or I'm going to do today with this video. This will be level 1, and I'm going to discuss each of the aspects of it, and then over the next week or two, I will put it all together. Either, there's a playlist, and it'll either be previous videos that I've already made, or new ones, or maybe some old ones, but I'll make a new one that'll give more details on that particular subject. I feel that a lot of the programs like that out there that are so, they're geared toward a form only. And I don't want to do that with these. It's not just about learning the form. Yes, Tai Chi, the forms, that's what you think of when you think of Tai Chi. If you're doing it for application, you pull those postures out and you practice them with another person, you do push-ins, you do wrestling, you do sparring, all of that. Again, once I can put all of this on video content, then I'll put out a Chang Tai Chi training, application-based, what it is. And if you're wanting to learn that, you would still probably want to learn these first 2 levels to get a good foundation base. So all of these forms that are done in this are either classical Chang Tai Chi forms, or they're contemporary forms that work utilizing the postures in that way and that flavor. Okay, so to make that make sense. So if you think I don't think there's a system of Tai Chi out there that doesn't have contemporary forms or shorter routines for people to learn that potentially won't be able to do the longer routines, or they want to see something that they can do from beginning to end in a short period of time to help them with the confidence of it. For different reasons. So anyway, so level 1 is this list of things here. The first is loosening exercises. And so this is loosening exercises 1. There is, for each level, there's another set of loosening exercises. And these loosening exercises here are based off of our 8 set. Meaning, I'll give an example. So, if you think like this, and I'm moving through to do these motions, it's just a way to get the body loosened up, warmed up, before I start the whole of my thing. Now, there is some waist, core, and some leg stuff that go along with that, but just to give you an example. And there'll be a video over that. There's plenty of videos that I've made over Taiji Walking, but I'm going to kind of pull all of those attributes together into one video, and then simplify it, and then you can go back and watch the other videos over. But the Taiji Walking, if you don't know what that is, it's footwork, right? And I can do it with a narrow or medium or a large frame. So in Chang Tai Chi, we work on a progressive development approach. There's not just one way to do the forms. I don't want to get off too much on a tangent, but so we want to, if you're doing this for yourself, you want to know what you're capable of. if you're trying to share it with other people, what are they capable of? I'll give you two examples. Say a 35-year-old, and they're in decent shape. They should easily be able to do a large frame. Now, they may have to progress to it. They may start with a medium frame to get their stability better before they do that. But they should be able to do this down here. Maybe a 65-year-old that has been inactive for the last few years. More than likely, they may start with a medium or a narrow frame like this. This, almost a little bit narrower than my shoulders. Or a medium frame, about 1.5 times as wide as my shoulders. And that may be where they're at. And I'm hoping through this program I can get those that may want to share this program with others to understand this progressive approach that we use. There's also, back a little bit. So you have the listening exercises, the Taiji Walking, and the Taiji Walking, why I interjected with the stances. Because we want to find out where you are or where the person is. And then from here, they'll practice the footwork, raising the knees, stepping backwards, turning around, those kind of things. But we want to know where they're at. Then, along with that, but at this point, all I want you to understand is there are different widths, there's different heights. I can do the form up here, but if I do it here, I can really engage the legs and the buttocks more to strengthen the buttocks. And by me doing the knee lifting or stepping through type actions, I'm strengthening the hip flexors. If my buttocks are stronger, it's easier for me to stand up. If my hip flexors are stronger, it's easier for me to get that foot out there, or to step over something, or to walk upstairs. If you think of it as a functional fitness approach. So at this point, you just need to understand these differences and then be able to try your best to start sharing that out with the people that are training with you potentially so that they don't hurt themselves and that they can properly progress. So again, listening exercises, 1, Tai Chi walking, and then moving postures, singles and combinations. What do I mean by that? I'm going to say you took this particular posture from the form, right? Brush knee, right? Or slant fly, right? Or wave hands like pads, right? You're going to take that movement, you do the walking, and then you're going to take those individual postures and practice them to improve the overall ability to do that action. If we're looking at it from the standpoint of the form, the performance of the form, we want to make sure our coordination is good, our stability, our balance, so that we can perform it to the best of our ability. On the other side of that, we're trying to enhance our strength and our mobility and our, let's say, the ability to use our body in an optimal way so that we can do our daily activities and get that body movement in that we all need. So the singles, again, if you're doing this at home, or maybe you have a nice studio, big one like this is kind of small, and so maybe you've got room for 4 or 5, and you go back the other way, you do those, and then we have combined pieces. Right, like slant fly, brush knee, play the pipa, right? Slant fly, brush knee, play the pipa. And we work these combinations of movements so that, again, it enhances the ability of the form, but it also improves my coordination and my ability to execute the movements for my health. And then we have forms. There's 2 to learn for this first level. One is 8 steps, and it's either going to do something to the left and then to the right, or the right and then to the left. And it's a good form to teach some of the more popular movements and turning and shifting the weight. You know, it starts here, and I go here, and I need to be able to transfer the weight properly, but now I need to turn around and learning how to turn the weight and shifting the weight. So when you get to something like the 48, or you get to the classical 108, that it's going to help to improve that. But at the same time, it's giving you a short-term goal, a small routine to be able to get to help with your understanding of how to do a form, also to help to build the confidence to be able to do those marginal challenging forms. So it's just one single action from side to side. One single action here, one single action here, one single action here, one single action here. Like that, for the whole set. Now, for the 12 steps, it's the same type of a routine, meaning I'm in a somewhat fixed position, and I'm going to do things to the left and to the right. Now, with this one, half of the pieces are going to be multiples, right? So, like white crane spreads its wings, brush knee, play pipa, right? We're going to do this on the other side. White crane, brush knee, play pipa. And then it'll be singles, like slant fly. So again, the first form is teaching you very popular, common moves, so you can associate the name with the movement. It's getting you to develop the ability to turn around and to be able to transfer your weight. This form, the 12 set, is more about those same features, but now we're going to look at combining 2 or 3 moves together, just like when we're doing our moving postures, but with inside the form. That's going to help you to develop the next forms, the 48, because it's much larger, it moves around all over the place and things like that. So the other great thing about these 2 forms is that if you're doing it at home, you don't have a facility or, even if you're going to teach at a rec center or a church or something, maybe you don't always have access to the facility. You're just doing it for yourself. And maybe you're doing this in front of, you've got a smart TV and you're doing this in the living room, right? Or maybe you want to do it on the back patio, but it won't take up a lot of space. Meaning, I can almost do both of these forms within the size of this chalkboard. Probably about this much more room is all I need to do both of them. So that is very beneficial. Also, too, if you're new to teaching, or it's something, or if you've been teaching, this will make sense to you, right? I could have 6 or 8 people behind me, and we're in somewhat fixed positions, right? I'm going to do something this way. Everybody can see me that's behind me this way. I do something this way. These behind me can see. And at the same time, the people on this side or on that side are going the other way. They know it's the same movement, right? So it's really great for teaching in a class setting. You get something like to the 48 or to the 108. They move all over the place. I mean, yes, they're done in a line, a very long line. And I used to teach the 24, but the problem with 24 is I had to move 3 times whenever I was teaching it. Meaning, if I wanted people to see me all the time. So, and they also take a lot more space. Meaning, this 8 or this 12, you could teach in a relatively, we'll say probably a third of this size versus if you were teaching the 108. In other words, say you had 8 people, and the amount of space that you need to teach 8 people, the 8 step and the 12 step would be probably a third, maybe 40% of the size space that you would need to teach something that many people teaching in the 108. If that makes sense. So more to it than that, but there's videos right now over the 8 and over the 12 steps. There's videos over moving postures, symbols and combos. There's videos already over Taiji Walking. There's some videos over the listening exercises. The other stuff that relates to this. So we talked about widths and heights and all of that, but think of it like this. There's interpretation of Chong Shi Tai Chi Chuan and the, the developmental aspect behind it as it relates to forms. But again, look at it like this, just real briefly. Some people, when they come to start to train, they're going to be walking like this. You may be walking like this, right? You can't even really get that foot out there, right? Or this person is maybe they're 25 pounds overweight, and they need a gentle exercise, but something that will also help them to burn calories and to give them some athleticism. Or you got this young person over here that's 35 or 25. There's all these different variations of people, and it would stand to reason that when we practice it, that we should be able to do it at different ways in which to help the person to progress or to develop. That doesn't mean, I'm not talking about taking and changing the pattern, right? That was 50 moves, and now I'm going to make it 56 moves. That's not what I'm talking about. And I'm not talking about putting, some kind of additional flamboyant movements in it. Nothing like that. It's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these are all practical body mechanic type actions, right? Large frame, medium frame, narrow frame. High base, low base. Slow, fast, varied. Those are attributes of the way that you're doing the form. Also, too, the speed of it is irrelevant. It's more about the details and what it is that you're training for that day. And there's also other attributes. There's leg skills, and save that for Chang Shi Tai Chi Chuan. Those are all utilizing the leg in ways in which to do takedowns or throws on the person, utilizing the Tai Chi movements. But we do also integrate into this program knee lifting. And say I do brush knee with a, let's say, and please listen, I'm not doing this for perfection's sake. I'm just trying to show the fundamental body. So I do it with a narrow frame. I do it with a medium frame. I do it with a large frame. I do it with knee lifting. At different times, some of those things may be more important. Let's use an example here. I have a student, he is 76, and he started out with somewhat of a narrow frame. Now he's moved to something more of a medium frame. He's really starting to try to use more of a lower base so he can engage the buttocks and the leg and the core muscles a little bit more. And his next challenge is to be able to do these knee lifting actions so it keeps improving his balance, his strength in his hip flexors, so he can get those legs out there and work on be as active as he wants to be. That was just an example. I have a guy that comes to me, he's 35. Well, he's doing a very large frame, and I'm pushing him to, he's doing a high base with a large frame, and he's to the point where he can basically get through the 108. But next, let's see if he can do it fast and see how that stresses his stability. It's just a different dynamic from just learning one form, one way, and not everybody is going to be able to excel at that. But if we can look at it different ways, we can potentially push that person up to do something greater than potentially just doing this one way because it locked them in, right? They didn't have a way to it. Body mechanics. So all at this level, all you're doing is just understand those fundamental ideas and how they work. But you want to see how that really plays into the whole program. Body mechanics and breathing one. This is simple things, but if you're just doing a program or an online program, and I see people do this kind of stuff, and they wonder why their knees are messed up, or they do something like this, and they will, they will roll the knee out, right? I mean, it's crazy. This is bad. Or they'll do moves like this, and they leave the foot flat, and then they try to turn the hip into it. This is bad on my hip, my knee, even my ankle. Or you'll see this kind of stuff. This is terrible. I'm not calling out somebody, I'm just saying that's bad body mechanics. And at each of these three levels, we want to touch on different aspects of proper body mechanics, right? We don't want to round the back and pinch the back, and a lot of people have bad lower backs, bad knees. I want to teach them in such a way that's going to potentially exacerbate those things or create those kind of situations. I don't want to do that. But breathing in the beginning, again, we're going to talk about breathing in a natural way, breathing with movements, all of that type of stuff. That's pretty much it. Okay? The only other two aspects that you can add at this level, and that's going to be dependent on yourself and or the type of people that you're wanting to share with. One of those is chair exercises. So it's using a stool or what have you. You can do the 8 routine from there. There's loosening exercises you can do there. There's strength exercises that you can do from the chair. And there's enough content for that at each of the levels. Now, you can opt out of that altogether if you don't think that you're going to be teaching people with limited mobility, but later on you will probably change your mind when you see that there are people out there with those types of needs. One other thing is falling and getting up. This is important at any age. If you're 12, if you're 22, if you're 55, if you're 75. How to protect yourself when you fall and how to properly get back up. So this can be done at any of the 3 levels. You don't have to do it right off the bat. If you want to do it at level 2 or level 3. And it's something you can opt out of, but I highly encourage you to want to learn that. It's not that difficult. But think of it like this. If I can fall in a way to keep from hurting my arms or my head, or at least reduce the impact. And then looking at exercises and ways to get back up off the floor, ideas in which to do it, it's something that I feel it's very important. There's a lot of people that live alone, and I'm 55 and I live alone. I've lived alone for almost 6 years. And my dog's not going to be able to call 911 if I accidentally hurt myself or something and I can't get up off the floor, right? Or maybe I fell off a ladder or fell off the side of the house or whatever. But that is it's a big concern of a lot of people as they age because maybe a spouse passes away or they were never married in the first place or et cetera. And there's a fear of falling. There's also a fear of falling and not hurting yourself and not having the physical strength just to get back up off the ground. So that's why I feel it's important and why I included into this. And again, this approach to Tai Chi is for functional fitness. If you want to, this will fit most people's needs that are looking for these attributes from Tai Chi. If you really want to see Tai Chi and more of an application and its fullness and its development for being able to physically work against others, we'll say, or use it for my